G'day and welcome back to the channel. Today I am working at a nice little house here on a marina, as you can see there, in Perth. So we are looking at a 2013 Suzuki Vitara. It does look pretty clear, as you can see, but this is done in an underground undercover car park, and the sunlight really wasn't on it at all, so you can probably see a bit more of a tinge there, but yeah. And the thing is, he called me because he had a crack at doing it with toothpaste and furniture polish, and then when he couldn't get anywhere near the results he was hoping for, he gave us a call. So let's see how we go. I'm starting with the 320 grit, and I'm going to go through quite a few grits all the way up to that 3000 Trizac. So before that polishing process, as you can see there's a lot of oxidation, a lot of yellow flakes coming off, a lot of yellow plastic there. So yeah, it's like, to be honest, I haven't been in the feeling the best over the last month, so apologies if that come through on any of the recent videos and that. So yeah, time to get back on the feet and having a crack again, and let's see how we go. So as you can see there was a lot of that tinge through it and everything, and I am sticking to a process a little bit more, so see if it works on a number of different lights. So any grit size before the 500, I do a dry and then wet. So I'm starting with the 320 here, dry, and then I'll go wet, and then I'll go to the 400, dry and then wet, before processing. And then I'll also do a wet gimbal as well, just to before I start anything above the 500 grit. So I did go to from the 400 I go to 6 to 8 to the 12, and from the 12 I did go up to that 3000. So that's a bit of a indication on where we're heading with this. But yeah, this was a nice little car. He's kept it really well. The guy was a panel beater anyway, so he sort of knows a bit about his cars. And he lives at that marina now. As when I showed you, that was from his balcony there. Retired and living the life. So yeah, good on him. But doing this here, as you can see now, I'm onto the 320 wet, and what I've found is that when you do the grit and then you do the wet process, it's just a really nice transition into the next grit, So I did start with the 320. Looking at the light, on any other circumstance, I might have even started with a higher grit, but because I wasn't sure how much the toothpaste or the furniture polish had penetrated into the plastic itself, I just thought, well, I'm just going to start with that 320 to get a really good bite, and move forward from there. So yeah, so done the 320 dry, hit it with the wet. Now gonna have a crack at the 400, and just repeat that process. So getting a good bite on each one, and going from that 320, and then after hitting with the water, it really does bring it up to that 370, 380 kind of feel, because it really is a lot smoother with the water, obviously. So it's a really nice little transition into the 400, because it's not like going from 320 to 4. It's it's only jumping up maybe 30 or 40 grit, and it's just it's been just a nice transition in each time I've done it. So you can see how dark it was in the undercover area, because you don't normally see the light on the drill, but this time around you can see the light that's with the drill there when you're using it. So normally when I do it in the daylight, you don't even see that at all. So that gives you a bit of an indication, because if you could see that light in the full sunlight, it would have had a really lemony tinge through it that you might not have got the full vision of, because of it being in the shade. So finished with that 400 dry. Now hitting it with the wet. I have doubled the speed, so it might seem like I am going through the process a little quicker than that I am, but I am hitting each little section with a bit of pace, but and that's all due to the camera being a little bit sped up. But I am getting a good surface cleaning on it. So, and it's not a bad light actually, because there is a couple of little besides that the indicator edge, there is just on the bottom run, there's probably the bottom inch or so is more vertical opposed to that main face, and then up the very top there is another little lip. But other than that, it's a pretty flat surface that you get to work on. Again, I like to do right on the edges just by hand, just so you can get that nice pressure point along the right along the lens edge, with doing it by hand. And because this is the last one I do before I'm hitting the higher grits over the 500, I do hit the gimbal wet as well, just to get rid of any of the swirling, and just to make sure that all the swirls are gone, and I've got all the horizontal lines. What I had to use was the spotlight on my phone, because just with that shade I couldn't get a good look at it. So going through each step, and then just making sure that I'm getting all the horizontal lines there, and removing the swirls before I go up to the 600. Just drying it off a bit. It's important, with the tape that I'm using, it's not 3M or anything like that. I think this one was the Scotch tape. It's just, with that water, it really lifts off quite easily. So just going over it, like I said, having a look with the spotlight from the phone, and then making sure it's all horizontal before I hit it with that 600. So now I'm gonna do all dry grits, through the 6, the 8, and then the 12. But being the 1200 is going to be the last one before the Trizac, because I was pretty happy with the surface after the 1200. I was thinking about the 15 and the 2000, but it really wasn't necessary. So So after getting to the point where you're up to the 5 and you've done your wet on every process, every step, now I only hit it with the wet and dry on its last grit before the Trizac, and in this case it's going to be the 1200. So I hit it with the 6, the 8, the 12 all dry, and then I will hit it once more with the water at the 1200 stage. So, but the Suzuki lights, they're soft enough to appreciate, and you can. They're not a terrible light to work on. I have done a Suzuki Swift, which is another nice big light, and I'm not sure if it's like you know, all the Suzukis, but this being the second one that I've pretty much worked on, from memory, that they seem to be pretty consistent. So yeah, so if you get to work on a Suzuki, you will find that the lens isn't as hard, so you can break through that clear and everything pretty well. So finished with the 600. Now gonna give it a crack with the 800 and just start lightening up the grits and smoothing it out nicely. Going both ways, you know, up and down and horizontally as well, but you know, you're still going to get those swirl marks. And because it is a little bit softer, and I just like to keep that the drill moving, so you know, you don't heat up any particular area, because the last thing you want to do is burn any of that lens, because once you've concentrated on an area too much, and if you end up burning it, that's it's not something that you can come back easy from, if at all. So yeah, so you always keep that motion going on the drill. Just keep it going up and down, side to side, because when we hit the last one, that 1200, we're also going to hit it with that gimbal as well, and we'll just do the horizontals just to get rid of any of the swirls before we hit the Trizac. So we'll chuck on that 1200, make sure it's all lined up with the backing plate. Just check that you got an even run around the edges. You don't have to apply a lot of pressure. Sometimes you might have to do it a little longer, but if you can get the job done using as little pressure as you can, the finish is a lot more even, a lot more presentable, and the scratches are a lot easier to get out. And when it comes to that polishing, you get a really nice lens before you apply the clear. So I've found, because at the beginning I felt that I was applying a little bit too much pressure, and you know, as a beginner I was thinking, well, you know, the more pressure you apply, the quicker you get it done, the easier it's going to be. But you know, the more that you can actually finesse the pad or the paper through each grit level, you know, the pad or the paper lasts a lot longer. It ends up being a lot smoother, and you know, and so when you start at that you know, the heavier grit and go to the lighter grit, it seems to work okay, because that just because you're not applying all that pressure, the scratches don't go as deep, so it becomes a lot easier to get them out, and you can you do save time by doing it. So So if that is the case when you're doing that, sometimes you might have to just use 1 or 2 more pieces of paper on each level just to get it. But definitely worth it because the finish is a lot better. So now after I've done the wet and dry on that 1200, I've dried it all off, and now, like I say, I'll do that gimbal just to get rid of the last of the swirls, looking for all the horizontal lines, and I'm pretty sure I did use the spotlight on the phone again just to make sure the swirls are gone and you get a good finish getting those edges. Because even when you're doing it by hand, like, you really don't have to apply much pressure. So like you've seen there, I actually I was holding it that lightly, it just fell out of my hand. So going over it with the spotlight on the phone, just looking for any swirls that may remain, and just getting rid of the last of them before going on to that Trizac 3M polishing pad. I ended up spending about an hour on each light, but that's just honing my skills as well. I'm sure once I get this process to more my likings and just get better at it, I'm sure it's going to be a lot quicker. So you can see I'm pulling the tape off now because it has held a bit of water, and now that I'm going to be using that 3000 3M, the Trizac pad, that's not going to do any damage to the paint and things like that. So I'm just getting rid of all the tape and just making sure that the surroundings around and getting rid of any excess water. So when I do get to that polishing, it's going to be easier to dry off and to blow out all the water and clean the surroundings at the minute. So about to start on that the 3M, give the lens a good soaking, and then start that polishing process. This really does, you can see it's getting it a lot clearer already, but I think when you're at the end of that 800, definitely by the time you're into the 1200, you really are starting that polishing process. The fundamentals for it, you're getting it nice and smooth. So when you hit it with this Trizac, it's just a matter of getting rid of all the fine lines, and this Trizac, it is doing a pretty good job. And then when you get to the polishing, that finalizes it. But yeah, as you can see there, when that the Trizac's going over it with the water, it is bringing it up. So now that I've finished with that, I do spray with the window cleaner just to pull out any extra particles from any really micro cracks that might or scratches that's still there, which is not many at all now. But I did have a bit of a camera issue, and I didn't get that, see how it's already shiny, so I missed that. So I'm doing it again, just so you can see. So I'm using the plastics, using the orange pad, and so doing the dabbing process. Like I say, I've already done this, but because something happened with the camera, I decided just to do it again, just in case any of you were interested on how I did it and what I was doing. So So yeah, dab it. It was penetrating really well. So just getting right in there, and it came up really nice, you know. So all that yellow tinge, we got rid of all of that. Any of the scratching, that was all gone. So that Maguire's Plastics, it seemed to work pretty nicely with the Suzuki lens, you know, being a little bit softer. You know, if it was a harder lens, sometimes that, or if I finished with an 800, say, didn't go to the 12, that Plastics doesn't always get out those really fine scratches after the 800, but it seemed to work a whole lot better with that 1200 and then the Trizac. I got this little, like a lot of people use the paper. I found some plastic because, you know, that's because when you can just spray a little bit of water on the panel, it just sticks a lot nicer. No, the paper doesn't flap around, don't have to use tape to pin it down and that. So yeah, so like I'd apply a little bit of water, just spray some down on the guards or down the bottom where I wanted the plastic to stick, and it was staying pretty solid. As you can see where it went across that front grille there, you know, it's got good tension. I just sprayed the grille a bit and the middle emblem, and yeah, it's got about, I don't know, 10 mil of tape connected to that plastic, painter's plastic there. So, and you can cut it the size, it's on a little reel, so if I needed 6 inches, 8 inches, 2 inches, whatever it was, you can just cut it to size to have it go exactly where you want it. And this, that plastic opens out to like 2 feet, half a metre, whatever way you want to look at it. So it really was helping with any overspray, but because we were indoors a lot in undercover parking, it wasn't really windy anyway. It was just a really light breeze. Using the Maguire's Keep Clear lens clear coating, just going around the edges, making sure, a couple of different directions to make sure I got full coverage, and then the final result. So like and subscribe for more if you like this.